Oh, I forgot the fucking microphone, didn't I? Ah, and that was some really good stuff, and it was wasted. You'll never know. There was some brilliant stuff there. That was my best work. My best work for ages. Oh God, how annoying. Oh, I'm peeved now. Oh dear, that's what doing stuff in a rush does for you. Thank you, Joe, for that ping. Otherwise, I'd have carried on for another hour. Mind you, you might have preferred it. Good evening, Boaty. So, oh God, welcome to Thursday Night Live. Blah blah blah. Our last little get together, community. What's it of the week? Yada yada. Hope you've had a nice day. Good lunch. Blah 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 blah. Hope you got a bit. If you fancied a bit. If you didn't fancy any, I hope nobody forced you to do it. Hope you're all safe and warm, well, happy. You haven't suffered from terminal flatulence. And I hope you're not about to be executed in Alabama, I think it is, by nitrogen peroxide or some such. I was listening to that on the radio on the way home. Some poor sod is going to be executed in a couple of hours. And, bloody hell, he was convicted of murder in 1988. He's been on death row for 30 years, or more than 30 years. He's already had one botched execution, and they're going to have a bash at him again tonight with a new execution method because they can't get the drugs they need for the lethal injection. And the last time they tried to inject him to death, they couldn't get a vein up. And now they're going to try and do him with bloody nitrogen using a face mask. Which, according to an expert, is almost certainly bound to fail. I think if you've been on death row for 30 odd years, they've had a bash at killing you and ballsed it up. They should just say, well, fair enough. We'll call it all off. Off you go. Have a nice 6 months or whatever's left of the poor old sod's life, because that's the cruelty of it. Because many times, 30 years on from somebody committing a crime, which might well be a heinous crime, but are they the same person 30 years on when they've been incarcerated and had nothing else to think about other than whatever they did that got them there? They could have found God, they could have had counselling, they could have educated themselves. They're just not the same person. And certainly when you've had a bash at killing them once and ballsed it up, as only the Americans could do, then just say, right, okay, 30 years of living underneath the sword of Damocles, we've had a bash at killing you, we didn't manage it, so off you trot, go on, waddle off into the sunset. That's what I'd do. Honestly, I would. French never had a problem like that. They invented the guillotine. Not many botched executions with the guillotine, was there? I mean, absolute madness. I mean, if you're going to have an execution, if you're going to have the death penalty, and we've had this discussion before, I don't think that, in theory, I would be in favour of capital punishment. In reality, the situation would never arise whereby it would be justified in practice, only in theory, in my book. But if you are going to have it, then don't piss about trying to kill. Do you know what it's like? The American judicial system, right? It's like a James Bond film. That's what it's like, where in order to make the film entertaining, then the baddies try to kill James Bond in weird ways, throwing him into a pool of sharks or tying him to a table with a circular sword about to cut his bollocks in half, instead of just, at the first opportunity, shooting him in the head, right? And that's what the American judicial system is like. They come up with all of these bizarre ways to kill somebody, where if you're going to execute them, right, shoot them in the head. that doesn't go wrong. Or put them in a lift shaft at the bottom and drop a lift on them, or chop their heads off or something. Right? Other countries have executions. They don't have a problem. I mean, in North Korea, he rounded a load of prisoners up and shot them with a tank. You know, that's not going to go wrong, is it? Now, I'm not in favour of it. I'm just saying don't piss about trying to make it entertaining for the victims' families. If you're going to execute them, execute them. Some poor sod sitting in one of these cells that you go into on your road to the execution chamber, wondering how dreadful his death is going to be, because he's had to sit through a court case at the US Supreme Court where experts have come and said this is not going to go well, and he's going to either have an excruciatingly uncomfortable death, or he's not going to die at all, but he's going to end up a brain dead or cabbage or with brain damage, or, you know. And he's already had 30 years and one, but, oh dear. This is why I don't live in America anymore. Anyway, good evening, Jimmy Quinn, who says, first cab off the rank. Good evening, Boaty and everyone. Barry's here, that guy from SETI Alpha 5. Good evening, you fellow charmingly obnoxious peeps. Pingu Concord is here and says, here's Johnny, Barry Scrutter. Good evening from the yard of dirty trailers. My little spring onions. Oh, I like that. John Stoodley is here. Hey, chat. Hey, Boaty. Where is that fecking gobshite? That gobshite again, says Barry. Is he never off the air? A very good evening, Boaty and everyone, says Ivor Spotterbotty. General Cheeseburger says, good evening, gobshites. Are you okay, John? Barry Scrutter says, I hope he's not late. Ivor says, drink. Ben is here. Sup, fellow devotees of the saucy caddies. Oh, the sauce caddies. I love my brick. Oh, dear. John's not too bad today. Heart rate up a bit, up to 108. For me, that's high. Yeah, a little over. Good evening, says Mark. Bad books. Diddly-do. Diddly-do. And Joe says the microphone is off. It wasn't turned off. Well, it was turned off. It wasn't even here. Oh, dear, dear, dear. It's Charlie Chaplin. Boaty's playing the quiet game, just like the lunchtime videos. No, that one wasn't a joke. That was just me being hopelessly inept and useless. I haven't even managed to properly defrost the Momo chutney. God, I'm useless. This is a distinct improvement, says Cheeseburger. Anyone for Corpse Swap? Oh, video with Tom. Hang on. Well, have I missed a comment there? Oh, I don't know. Dear. No sound at all, says Stephanie Smith. Charlie Chaplin was born in Smethwick, says Cheeseburger. Sound is muted, says Joe. Vast improvement, says Mark. For fuck's sake, don't tell him, says Cheeseburger. Don't worry, it'll take him half an hour before he reads that comment. Thank God Joe messaged me. Oh dear. Are there any subtitles? Asked Barry Scrutter. He's fucking around, says Jimmy Quinn. You plonker Boaty, says Stephanie. Ivor Spotty Botty says, "Do, you great lanky git." Chris Maguire is with us and says, good evening all. Ben says, finally, a live stream everyone can enjoy. Oh, wait. Trisha Alderman is here. Good evening, Boaty and everyone. This is why he's the face of Untival, says Cheeseburger. All right, my bad. I did forget the microphone. I was doing some really good stuff there. Oh, God, I was on the best form, and now I've had it all whizzled out of me. Oh, well, it is Thursday. This is why he's the face of Untival. You've got a point, Cheeseburger. Dan Peters is here and says, hello, Mr. Boaty, sir. I join you from a rather boring Bedfordshire. Sorry I haven't managed to join the live for a while due to work, etc. A question, if I may. You may indeed. You may indeed, Dan Peters. What is your favourite wine? Very good question, Dan Peters. And this is one that I've got an immediate and easy answer for. Chablis Premier Cru is my favourite wine. There you go. Easy. Oh dear. Death row for 35 years, says Cheeseburger. He's lasted longer than a Rover. Oh, Cheeseburger. Cheeseburger. If they need a vein, just give him a boner. What a way to go. God almighty, you wonderfully sick individual, you. Only Cheeseburger would come up with that. The poor old executioner. I can't get a vein. I can't get a vein. Send Cindy in and tell her to get her hooters out. I'll get a bloody vein out of him. Or Wendy Whoppers coming in. Oh, God almighty, I worry about you lot. I genuinely do. Oh, carry on executing in America. Barbara Windsor coming in. Hello, Ducky. Sid James just behind her with the big needle. Actually, that would make quite a good film. It's a shame they're all dead. Skick. Hello, Skick. Skick says, one thing I noticed about you, Boat, is your grammar. Where did that come from? Gosh, I suppose my parents and going to a rather expensive public school. Cheeseburger knows. Cheeseburger knows. He knows the good schools in and around Birmingham. But as anybody who has endured the public school system will know, that long before King Edward's comes prep school, and mine was Christchurch. Not long until the yard now, Cheeseburger mate, and I'm still up for it, says John. Boaty's in favour of capital punishment, says Cheeseburger. Let's put him out of his misery. I've not done anything wrong. Well, I haven't done anything wrong I deserve being killed for, I don't think. I mean, I've done some things I should probably... No, let's not go there. Let's not go there. He got his grammar from eBay, says Jimmy Quinn. Hello, Mustard was here. Hello, Fuddy Munsters. Hello, Mustard. Cheeseburger says, John, I'm looking forward to it. Need to firm up times, indeed. King Condiment. There you are, says Barry Scrotter. Hello, Mustard. Did you fun my wife? Asked Barry. No, I didn't fun your wife. She just sucked my duck, and I ate her puppy. Cracking Harry Enfield reference there, by the way. Oh, God. Any young people watching this, which basically meant James, and I don't think he does watch anymore since you lot frightened him off. Was it James? Oh, it was James, wasn't it? Yeah. Any young people aren't going to get 95% of the references that we come out with. Not the 9 o'clock news. Never heard of it. Dan Peter says, the UK government is just full of sodding snowflakes nowadays. It's like you can't even have an opinion. Oh, dear. Everybody's asking Mustard if he can hear anything tonight. Probably not. And Mustard says, hello, everyone. Barry's still going. You're talking bull mud, you cake sucker. How dreadful is death? Asked Cheeseburger. Boaty's finding out live. Oh, that's nothing new. Actually, I haven't died on stage that often, but I have died on stage. In fact, only once. But trust me, when it comes to dying on stage, once is enough. And even that wasn't quite as much of a disaster as it could have been. In my very, 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 very early professional days as a vocalist, I think it was my second gig, or was it my first? And they paid me off. And if you don't know what that means, it means you do the first half of your set. They give you your money and say, please don't bother doing the second half. They cannot take any more, Captain. Oh dear. I did do the second half, by the way, and it was a lot better. So I thought, I'm not having that. And in fact, now I think back, it was at that point where I thought, okay, I've died, that I stopped trying to be the ultimate professional vocalist and started having a bit. It was only a tiny gig. I didn't do many tiny gigs. I did like 2, 3, 4, something like that. And then I just did theatres and halls and whatnot. You know, not worth going out to a pub to humiliate yourself. But because it was a small, intimate attitude, small, intimate, venue, and they paid me off. I said, no, I'll do the second half anyway. Don't worry, I'll go. And I just started having the crack with the audience, and it was all right. And changed my set around a bit, did some different songs, got people involved, and it was like, I mean, they never tried to book me again. But yeah, that was kind of a lesson learned. You know, sometimes your act can be too big for a small venue, and mine was. A suggestion from Ben for the Untival Committee. As Father Boticus is keen to be inclusive, offering to visit the salubrious Shillito Woods and its users, might there be a wooded area at the chosen venue named... Might there be a wooded area at the chosen venue named Breastival? Jesus Christ. We're now turning Untival. Well, hang on. Right, if you're suggesting that yeah, okay, all right, I take the point. So Untival kind of, involves unt. So, yeah, you've got a good point, Ben. If we're going to be genuinely inclusive, then we need to have a really full section. Jesus Christ. God. I'm ringing in because, quite honestly, I don't think we should give so much thought to the bum bandit. You can't say that on BBC Radio. This actually happened on Radio 4. I think you mean the members of the homosexual. Oh, the bum bandits! That's what I'm on about. This guy rang in, and it was a live thing, and he had this broad Brummie accent. And the presenter's desperately trying to keep it okay and politically correct and on air. Yeah, but all I'm saying is the bum bandits. Yeah, Ben, you've got an excellent point, and I'm all in favour of that. I'm all in favour of having a section at the venue which will be really full. So I suppose, you know, if one had, if one were to be a chap and one had a female companion whilst attending Untival, and if one fancied, you know, a little trip around the old chocolate speedway, you just whisk it down to Breastival and say, brace yourself, darling. Here comes the pottering lube. God. I'm more determined than ever that Untival has to happen. I was thinking about it, and you know, we haven't talked much about venues yet, but I was thinking that the perfect venue for an Untival would be Scunthorpe for very obvious reasons. And then we would be the Untivals who put the unt into Scunthorpe. Oh dear God. Who will win the 7-day car sales challenge? Asked Dan Peters. My bet is on Boaty. Yeah, well, I have got some news on that. I have not been idle, darlings. I have been true to my word. I've been taking this very seriously. And today I put whatever the car's bloody name is on eBay. And I gave it a really good listing. It's there. You can see it. It's got nice photos and a jolly good description and all of that sort of stuff. Put it on this afternoon. And it's had quite a bit of interest. I've had 2 offers on the car, both of which were not silly offers. Now, I refused them both, but they weren't daft offers. We're holding out for just a little bit more. And I've got lots of interest in the car. So quite honestly, my money is on me too. I mean, eBay is the way to go forward. I said this to Mustard ages ago. In fact, a year ago, the first time round when we were doing this, and I said, look, marketplace is where you buy cars from, eBay is where you sell them. And then I forgot my own advice and I haven't done any eBay. But I stuck it on eBay. There's immediate interest. I've had quite a few messages. I've had 2 offers, and I'm confident that I'll get the car gone. And that seems to be the way forward. In fact, this whole thing seems to be the way forward. I think that we need to just we keep the 7-day sales challenge thing going. We each have a car that we concentrate on for that 7 days, and we try to get it sold within that 7 days. And that means that we actually use it, clean it, photograph it, make videos about it, stick it on eBay, stick it on, you know, advertise it wherever we're going to advertise it. But we make a genuine effort with the car and get it moved. And I do think that's the way, that is the way forward. I can't wait to get this one gone and move on to the next one. Part of me fancies taking the Golf on, if Mustard doesn't sell it, just as a sheer challenge to see if we can, you know, I'd be happy to wipe my nose on the Golf. And I do mean that literally as well as metaphorically. I'd be happy to sell it and just not lose any money on it. I would also be happy to literally wipe my nose on it. But I'd also love to have the 45 press car for a week and really do the job on that and find that an amazing new home. But I'm convinced this is the way to go. And stop holding on to them for so long, you know. Concentrate on them. Any work that needs doing, get it done, get them ready. At least they need to be, you know, MOT'd, road legal, taxed ideally, being used so that we can film them, give people a genuine insight into what they're like, get them on sale at a genuinely proper price, a reasonable price, and get them moved. And, that should be the aim. Minimum of 2 cars sold per week. And yeah, and I think that's the way forward. I've quite enjoyed sticking the car on eBay, and I've enjoyed doing the videos about it, and there will be more to come. And had some lovely messages from people with some great potentially new homes. I actually felt sorry that I had to reject one offer because it was a lovely, lovely guy, and he just had, and I totally understand this, he had a budget and he had no means of going beyond the budget, very sadly. But there we are. Oh, excuse me. Apparently, says Ivor, Shillitoe Woods is quite popular with the dogging doings. Well, I guessed it might be. I've been calling it a premier dogging location for a while now. And that's not based on any knowledge or research or actual physical sighting evidence or anything like that. I just know that dogging is a thing around the peak, and it looks like a perfect location for it, as I understand it. I don't know exactly what goes on with dogging. I've got a general idea, but I am quite happy to investigate it on a journalistic basis. And it does look like a perfect spot, so I'm not surprised by that. But I haven't dared research it because, the Chinese can see my internet history. For all I know, the Chinese government have still got an active bug in this place because it was bugged. They can't bug my landline anymore because I don't have a landline anymore. I got rid of it. But, well, I mean, all I can say is good luck to them if they're bugging this and trying to make sense of this. And ironically enough, Shillitoe Woods is one of the places that Chinese Madam and I used to go to when we wanted to talk about things that we didn't dare talk about in the cottage here, for fear of reprisals, given we were working on the basis that anything that we said here would be being listened to. And Shillitoe Woods is one of the places we used to go. And in fact, somewhere on the channel, there's a video of the first time that Chinese Madam drove Shisen, which was, of course, her car originally. And the first time she drove him to Shillitoe Woods, and there's some, and I filmed a little bit of it, even though I wasn't doing YouTube at the time. I did film a little bit of it just for us, and I realised that I still had it somewhere. I can't remember where I still had it. Oh, I think I had it saved in an Amazon photos thing that I didn't know I had. It was a freebie, and it just automatically took copies of everything in your photo library. So, that's right. And I was looking through it because I'd forgotten I had it. And I had these videos that I filmed of Chinese Madam driving. So I put them in a YouTube video. I can't remember which one. Some of you might have seen it. Don't freeze your wine, says Ivor Spotty Butty. Bad Book says, is that Aldi's Chablis? No, this is Sainsbury's Suave. Sainsbury's House Suave. I mean, well, I'll tell you what this is. It's £5 a bottle and it's dry. Chill the arse out of it, and that's good enough for me when you pour. Video title from Cheeseburger. Need an executioner? Call Cindy. She genuinely would make them go with a smile on her face. She makes me laugh. I've told Mustard some of the stories. She genuinely makes me laugh. And I don't know if she's trying to be intentionally funny. I genuinely don't know if she's trying to be intentionally funny or if she's just funny without meaning to be. Silly little things. I'll give you an example. I At least I will do when I've poured some wine. Right, this actually happened. Jumping on top into the saddle, I'm sure you know the kind of scenario, grabbed my hands and said, "Hold those! I'm always worried they'll fall off." I just found that incredibly funny. Maybe you had to be there, although, quite honestly, I'm glad you weren't. Mr. Boaty, says Dan Peters, would you ever do a series of trading up challenges on the channel, buying an absolute shitbox and then flipping it, etc.? No. No, we've already failed at that. We've bought 2 absolute shitboxes, Fred and the bloody Golf. And, well, actually, that's a Mustard and Boaty thing, and I wouldn't have bought either of those cars. So, yeah, I would consider a trading up thing. Actually, maybe that's something I should do. Thinking about it. Yeah. Yes, I would, Dan. And now I just might. And I'll do it properly. I'll do it old school, like we used to in the 90s, when motor traders were real motor traders and could value cars in their heads. They didn't have to go onto the bloody, what's it called, Auto Trader app that tells you how much to pay for a car, tells you how much to sell it for. AI writes the advert for you. All they do is put the fucking registration in. Back in my day, we had to use what little we had in between our ears. Hang on, have I missed something here? Oh, right, yes. Okay, no, that's in relation to Shillito Woods. Mustard was still here at that point. High Ace Days and Holidays, who I remember is called Mark, is here and says, evening all. Oh, Dan is 30 years old and he very much enjoys the channel and also Project Nigel. Skik says, Dan Peters buying a shitbox. Have you not seen the Freelander? That Freelander's all right. I would take James on. I would buy James from the company with my own money and take him on. Now, that is a car that I really would flip. Seriously, I mean, obviously I know what we paid for James. I would take him on, do the injectors if that's what's needed, do the broken spring, clean him to within an inch of his life, scrape all of the crappy stickers off, polish him up, and then flog him out here in the Peak District with his beige leather interior. I'd do all right on that. I reckon I could flip James, and I reckon I could flip him quickly as well. One of the reasons being that I'm genuinely into Land Rovers at the moment. I love Boo. And James is the same as, or arguably slightly better than Boo in some ways. And I just know I could write an amazing advert for James once I got him reasonably sorted. I'm not the kind, I'm happy to sell cars that are very imperfect because I can tell a story about that. But they do at least need to be roadworthy and they need to start and the tyres need to hold air and they need to not have a missing roof lining or bits of missing seats and that sort of thing. You need to have half a chance, don't you? But I would gladly take James on. Nobody dies on stage like Tommy Cooper, bless him, says Captain Mustard. He literally did it, didn't he? And the funny thing was that apparently everybody thought it was part of the act. And it was a while before anybody kind of attended to him. People thought first that it was part of the act, and second, because he was a massive alcoholic. They thought he was just pissed and collapsed unconscious because that wasn't unknown for Tommy Cooper. Another famous story about him was the Royal Variety performance. And when they were doing the full dress rehearsal, Tommy Cooper was so pissed that he stumbled through the curtain and did his whole act almost perfectly, but facing the wrong way, facing the curtain rather than facing the audience. And the stage director said, "What's going on? Is he pissed?" And the whole chorus together, "Yes, he's pissed." And he said, "Well, get him off, sober him up, and tell him to do that in the real thing, because that was funny." Oh, good old Tommy Cooper. Good Welshman, of course. South Welshman, proper Welshman. Tommy Cooper was from the valley over from me, I think. Tommy Cooper was from just the other side of Treherbert Mountain. Somebody will correct me if I'm wrong. I don't care. I remember that, Paul says Cheeseburger. Bless him. Dan Peter says, Mr. Boaty, sir, a question if I may. If you had a budget of £30, what would you do with it? Would you buy food, alcohol, or what would you decide to do? Interesting. What would you decide to do that was interesting? I appreciate it's not a lot these days. Well, assuming that I didn't just put it in the bank to cover some direct debit going out, 30 quid. Well, 30 quid would just about pay for a night in a Travelodge, wouldn't it? So I would book a night in a Travelodge somewhere on the Never Eat Shredded Wheat on the northwest Welsh coast. I've been looking at Travelodges there. So I do plan to do a load of road trips this year. And they will almost all be to Wales, but to different parts of Wales. So 30 quid would pay for a night in a Travelodge. There you go. I've got vision of a shepherd's crook appearing on stage and Boaty being yanked off. It was virtually like that, in fairness. Or Cheeseburger said, "Barry, is it Cindy yanking him off?" And Boaty edging away from the hook. "Oh, good evening, Boaty," says Simone of Hooked on Classics. Readival, Untival revisited. I think I arrived at a terrible moment, says Simone. Cheeseburger says, "Can we have Orville?" God. As well. Mouthival would be easier to say, wouldn't it? I remember many years ago, says Dan Peters, it can't be all that many years ago, you're only 30, with a very nice lady friend of mine. I went to a car park and had someone knock the window late at night. Then we realised it was actually a dogging spot. Well, you might as well have joined in, Dan, at that point, surely. You know, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Ben says, "Dan, trading up series, good idea. If only there is a very pre-loved VW Golf boat he could start off with." I would start off with the Golf. On the trading up thing, I would start off with the Golf, but not at what it owes us. I would only start off with the Golf if I got it for what it's really worth, which is about £12.50. I mean, somebody said in jest that you should put some Go Faster stripes on it, turn your baseball hat backwards and stick it on Facebook, and many a true word spoken in jest. Neil is here. Hello all, sorry I'm late. Still on the go. Stupid shifts, but the last 2 days of them are... Oh, but just 2 days of them left now. Hope everyone's well. Sorry I'm late. I was watching Nigel's video, says Name Me -1. What's his latest video about? I shall look forward to that when I finish this one. Ivor says, "Can we have Titsival, for those who like big bass. God. Oh, sorry, big baps. Breastival. It should be Breastival, shouldn't it? Breastival, yeah, that would work better. Actually, we could have that as a separate thing, Breastival. I mean, I wouldn't go, obviously. I'd be traumatized. On a Breastival. Yeah, yeah. We could market Breastival as the car show where ladies are a car show based around ladies. Because let's face it, car shows are, you know, I mean, they're pretty male heavy, aren't they? Whereas Breastival would be a car show where, yeah, I like that idea. Let's do Breastival as well as Huntival. Breastival. Breastival. Yeah. I very much enjoy the live streams, says Dan. They have a positive effect on my day. Many things to talk about, and it's all excellent. I'm delighted to hear it. Absolutely, Cheeseburger. We should have Orville. Would Oral B consider sponsorship, do you think? Well, it's worth a try. Cheeseburger genuinely, apparently, watched a 1980 Top of the Pop show with Roger Daltrey yesterday. When introducing the village people, he said, backs to the wall, lads. A different time. God, did he really? Jesus. How about Swingival as well, says Cheeseburger? God. Cheeseburger, right, I don't know about you, mate, but I haven't got the energy for all of these evils. I mean, I could just about manage Untival. I'd run away. I would run away from Breastival. Rearival would be fine as long as I'm allowed to take a lady. And, I have a no entry sign tattooed on my proud Welsh buttocks. God. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, Dan's had to take his 1995 Astra off the road. But hopefully that'll get sorted. Nice one, Simone. That's another one that young people wouldn't get. Entertainment at Untival, said Cheeseburger. Keith Harris and Orville. Oh, God. Keith Harris. Right. I don't know if you're aware of this. I mean, I'm sure you're aware of Keith Harris and Orville, that god awful act. But he did a blue version where he went around the universities with Orville the Duck trying to do blue material. And I never saw it, thank God. But friends of mine did, and they said it was absolutely cringeworthy. Oh, hello, Sabana. Oh, my God, Sabana. Sabana, I very much doubt he's still here. Hi, Jason. How are you? Got into your live while scrolling. Well, if you're still here, Sabana, then namaskar and good luck for tomorrow night because Sabana and Christ. See, I've had enough wine now that I'm struggling with names. Bicas. Their opening night at the new restaurant is tomorrow night. So every good wish for that. And I love your menu. I think it's great. Mustard says, maybe you should sell and I buy. Well, I mean, I should certainly make more of an effort to sell so that I'm a worthwhile part of the partnership. But yeah, we can both buy. We can both sell. But yeah, maybe I should make more of an effort with the selling, given that you do everything else. That would be fair, wouldn't it? Plus, I enjoy it. So yeah, I'm up for that. Screwfix. Oh God, Scuntival. Huntival, says John Maruzzi. Oh dear, dear, dear. The golf would be ideal for Shillito, says Mark. It definitely looks like it's had its rear smashed in already. God. Mark, you're really one of us now, aren't you, mate? That is worthy of Cheeseburger, that remark is. I enjoyed that so much, I'm going to read it out again. The golf would be ideal for Shillito. It definitely looks like it's had its rear smashed in already. Brilliant. Skick says, he won't be able to sell if you buy the mustard. Don't worry, Skick. I'm going to give him your book. I've read it now. I took it to the bathroom as I promised I would. And in between however many visits to the bathroom I've made, I've read that book from cover to cover. And on Monday, it will be ceremonially handed over to Captain Mustard so that he can make more informed buying decisions. Let's untickle the world, says Ivor. Oh, dear, 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 dear. £2 raffle tickets to sell the cars, selected by random number generator. Yeah, I would actually do it by lottery because an RNG, unless you're actually filming it, somebody could always accuse you of being disingenuous with it. Spread over 5,000 subs should be easy. I have said that we are going to raffle one. And I've looked at two ways of doing it. Doing it like in-house with a lottery bonus ball. And there is a company now that will take care of the legalities and will do it for you. Obviously, they take a percentage, but I think that we should be raffling a card a month for a bit of fun. And to genuinely give a subber a chance of getting a car for a couple of quid. Cheeseburger says, if the Chinese are listening to you now, you're fucked. Pratt in a Cheeseburger has suggested Pratt in a reasonably priced car as a new feature, and Ben is thoroughly in favour of that. Oh, God. God. The Freelander needs more seats, says Cheeseburger. I can then take pensioners on day trips to Matlock Bath, Boaty's Sunshine Bus. I'd love to do that. Fred will prove you wrong, says Mustard. No, he won't. No, he won't. No, he really won't. And I would advise you against making any effort with Fred because he will bite you in the balls. If you put a day of hard graft into Fred, he'd break on purpose. He's that sort of vindictive bastard. There's a reason why he's cursed that car. That's why every former owner wanted to scrap him. Oh, dear. That's a good point, Simone. People didn't flip cars in the 90s. They just sold them. Joe says, just saw the ad on eBay. My only recommendation is to add some interior pics and an underbonnet pic, as all the pics are just the outside, but great pics and description. Mr. Boaty, have you ever owned a three-wheeler car? Yeah, I think. I haven't owned a Reliant. Grinnell Scorpion. Does that count as a car? Sinclair C5. I will add some interior pics and some underbonnet pics. Fuck off, Cheeseburger. Go and fuck a lamppost. Fuck you and everything you stand for. Oh, God. Mr. Boaty, have you ever owned a three-wheeler car? Says Dan. And Cheeseburger replies, Dan, he owns Stigbert. You bastard! Oh, God. Read Boaty's army. Mustard should be Captain Mannering, says Ben, as you never got to see Mrs. Mannering. And similarly, Mrs. Mustard is camera absentia. Good point. I'm going to get Mrs. Mustard onto a lunch video. If it kills me, I'm going to do that. Imagine Boaty in an Invacar. Oh, thank you very much, whoever just did that. What? I don't mind Wales, just not keen on South Wales. What's the matter with you? Mark says the Travelodge in Llandudno is right in the middle and opposite Springs for breakfast. Yeah, but it's expensive. It never comes into the 30 quid jobs, does it? That's why I went to Rill instead, because I thought, well, you know, Llandudno was about 70 quid. Rill was 34 quid. And I thought, well, it's only a 20-minute drive, isn't it? And Rill is right by the seaside and it's got a lovely big car park. Oh, God. Oh, a message on eBay. Let's do this live. Oh, right. Okay. Right, this is genuine. This is the eBay message. Hello, Mr. Boaty, sir. I found your ad on eBay. I must say what an excellent car this is, and also your YouTube channel is great. I very much enjoy it. Thanks again for your greatness, and take care. Oh, bless you. That's Dan Peters. He's just jumped onto eBay, found the advert, and sent me a message. Oh, bless him. Thank you very much. Oh, God, look at the time. It's marching on. Let's get through these comments. Where did I get to? Right. Ben is suggesting that Neil, aka the Gibbinator, should be Private Godfrey, as he's a very, very, very nice man. I knew about that, Buddy. You mentioned that. Yeah, you mentioned that before. You dirty man, you. Breastival works better. That's why you're the head man of Huntival Inc. Trademark. Copyright. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I like the idea of Breastival. Breastival, says Cheeseburger. I can't see any young lady draping themselves over Boaty's sunshine bus. Rusty Trombonival. Oh, God. Oh, that's very kind, Dan. Anyone who isn't subscribed or a channel member, please join. It's an excellent channel and has a positive impact on your evening. It is well worth it. Oh, dear. Mr. Boaty said, a question again from Dan, if I may. I know I've asked many this evening. My question is, what is the greatest job you've ever had? And that's actually quite a good question. I don't know what to say to that. I don't know. I mean, being a singer was really cool. Being an athlete was really cool. Being a male escort was really cool. The best job I've ever had is the job that I haven't got yet, but it will be when I can do this for a living, and that will be the best job that I've ever had. or the greatest job I've ever had. Oh, my worst ever car, Dan. My worst ever car would be an FSO 125P, registration number B352OHP. There you go. That was god awful. Except it kind of wasn't. I paid 100 quid for that and it did me well. And I don't think it ever let me down. So maybe that's not the worst car I've ever had. Maybe the worst car I've ever had would be one that broke down all the time. I think my Momo chutney is finally defrosted. Oh, it's Momo tonight, by the way. I know you worry about me eating. But if you watch tomorrow's daily diary, then all I talk about is food. So don't worry about that. Darlings, it has gone midnight. It has gone midnight. Have I talked about anything that I actually intended to talk about? No, not much. Cheeseburger's worst car was a 1997 MGF. Bought it new, returned it on the 30-day return policy. It was truly awful. Roof didn't fit, leaked like a sieve, and the chassis was out of square. Oh, right, I'm going to bugger off, darlings. Raffle. First prize, 1 Freelander. Second prize, 2 Freelanders. I'm going to take James on. I'm going to take James on as a 7-day challenge. He's booked in to have the broken spring done. So that's a start. In fact, that's enough. Even with the broken spring done, that would be enough for me to flog him. I guarantee if I took James on a 7-day sales challenge thing, I guarantee you I'd get him gone. Probably. Right then, darlings, that is it for tonight. I need to get some Momo down my neck. I need to let you good people go and get some rest or go and watch something better. I've just found a new YouTube channel that I want to get really obsessed about. Found it completely by accident, and so I'm going to go and watch a load of those videos. And it is, I will do, John. I will show you around James and Fred, and God help you. The new channel I'm going to obsess over is, he said, trying to find it, Sean James Cameron. There you go. For what that's worth. Although I have been watching a couple of videos of another one that I found by accident, and it's some Somerset bird who drives a big old truck. Oh dear. Oh God. Right, that's it, darlings. Say your good nights. You're very welcome, Cheeseburger, and I'm so looking forward to meeting you on the 5th. I'm really looking forward to the 5th of February to let you know what's coming up. Obviously tonight the lunch with Tom Drives went out. There's probably going to be another lunch video, maybe Saturday, and I mean Mustard and Boaty do lunch with. And I need to get that out before Monday for reasons of space on my iPad. So ideally I would have put it out next week, but I think it's going to go out on Saturday night. And that's going to be quite an interesting one to watch. Monday, I am planning a yard day. I don't think we've got anybody booked in for lunch, but I'm planning to take Nelson PK, aka Lewis Hamilton, the Metro, and see if we can see if a good run does him any good, and give Mustard a chance to film him and do a review and whatnot. Hopefully the whatever the bloody Rover 25 is called Hopefully that'll sell over the weekend. Hopefully the golf will sell over the weekend as well. And it'll be 100% success for the inaugural 7-day sales challenge thing. Two fat ladies. Yes. Yeah, two fat ladies. There will be, we've got as far as series 1, episode 2 of Two Fat Ladies. And the next one will be going up tomorrow night. What I'm going to do with the Two Fat Ladies, if you've been watching them, and I hope that you have, they will be going up on the nights when I'm not doing a live, if that makes sense, because then I have time to do them. So tonight is the last live until Monday. So tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, you will get episodes 2, 3 and 4 of series 2 of the Two Fat Ladies. And I promise you, they are well worth watching. And you can see all of series 1 and episode 1 of series 2 by just going to my Two Fat Ladies playlist. And they're all there for your delectation and delight. And they're one of the things that that I uploaded because I love them and I wanted to share them with the people that I love, i.e. you, in case you love them too. I can't monetize the Two Fat Ladies videos. Obviously they're copyrighted, but I am allowed to upload them. I just don't earn any money from them. So I make the effort to put them up purely and simply because I hope that some of you will enjoy them and they will be nice and easy to find and you'll have all of the episodes. They were available elsewhere on YouTube, but they weren't. They were all over the place. They were disjointed. They weren't. They were bits of episode clocked in. So with mine, you get the complete episodes, beginning to end. They're all in order. They will be in series order, and they will be complete. You'll get the complete series 1, 2, 3, etc., and you will get the extras, the videos that were made about the ladies after they passed away, sadly, detailing their lives and some behind the scenes stuff. And as I say, I don't earn off those. I just put them up there so you guys can easily find them. And that is it. Right, splendid. Yeah, we are all done. Thank you so much for your company over the last Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, over the last 4 nights. Thank you for giving me your time. Thank you to anybody who has renewed their channel membership or joined or gifted or given a super chat. Thank you to Skick for the book and the bottle of wine. And just thank you to you all for being wonderful and making a massive difference in my day, my week, and my life. I'll catch up with you via the daily diaries and whatnot, and Facebook and WhatsApp and all of that nonsense. And I will see you next for a live on Monday night. So have a great weekend. Take enormous care of yourselves. Much love to you all. And I'll see you next time. Thanks again. Breastival. I like Breastival. Oh, and of course, Pachu and Bosch.